Hey everyone, I'm back with another video. Today we're talking about OpenAI's latest release, ChatGPT Deep Research. Now this is the second agent they've dropped in just 10 days. And it's one I'm especially excited about because of its practical use cases for the job I do as a product manager, especially for tackling research heavy tasks like market analysis, competitor research, user experience research, and more. In this video, we'll cover three things: what deep research is, how to use it, and how it stacks up against GPT-4o. You're definitely going to want to wait to see how it stacks up against GPT-4o. It's pretty fascinating. For this video, we're referencing OpenAI's official article on the tool. What are we waiting for? Let's dive in. Okay, so we're on OpenAI's official article on deep research. What exactly is deep research? It's an agent that uses reasoning to synthesize large amounts of online information and complete multi-step research tasks for you. So how is this different from the regular ChatGPT? One, it synthesizes large amounts of online information. So it goes beyond the amount of information used in regular ChatGPT. And two, it performs multi-step research. So typically when you're performing research, you need to go through several different levels and different steps. And ChatGPT Deep Research goes through all these multiple steps for you. Now I'm sure you're wondering, how exactly is this an agent? We know that agents are typically meant to be autonomous. So how is this an agent? It's an agent because, as you can read here, it does the work for you independently. All you have to do is give it a prompt, and it'll find the information, analyze it, and synthesize it from across hundreds of online sources, and then creates a comprehensive report at the level of a research analyst. So this is an agent because autonomously and independently, it works with your prompt to come up with a comprehensive report. Later in the article, you see that deep research takes between 5 to 30 minutes to come back with this report. So it's not just a regular prompting and sitting on your computer and waiting for an immediate response to ChatGPT. It takes time and synthesizes all this information to generate a report for you. Another thing that's cool about deep research is the fact that it not only synthesizes text, but it reasons over also images and PDFs on the internet, all other forms of data on the internet to generate this report for you. If we scroll further, we can see who deep research is for. It's for people who do intensive knowledge work in areas like finance, science, policy, engineering, and these are people who need precise and reliable research. Selfishly, this is a fantastic tool for product managers. I can see it also be used for people like lawyers who want to research previous proceedings. We also see here that every output is documented with clear citations and a summary of its thinking. Now, I know people struggle with using LLMs for research because sometimes the LLM could hallucinate and oftentimes just come up with information without referencing citations. But with deep research, you know that you're getting reliable information because the sources are clearly cited. Now let's scroll further to how to use deep research. So if you have the pro subscription of ChatGPT, you can actually start using this. And you just need to select deep research in the message composer and enter your query. Just tell ChatGPT what you need. So whether it's a competitive analysis that I definitely will be doing, or personalized report on the best commuter bike. And you can also attach the files and the spreadsheets you want to use. Now remember what I said, deep research can take anywhere from 5 minutes to 30 minutes. Now this is different from your regular ChatGPT because typically with regular ChatGPT 4o, you'd sit at your computer and you'd get a response immediately. Or with the reasoning models, maybe after a few seconds or 1 or 2 minutes, you would get a response. But because this is very, very, no pun intended, deep research, it's going to take several minutes, up to 30 minutes to come back with a response. So this is related to the claim that was made at the top of this article. You're able to accomplish in minutes what would typically take you hours and days. Finally, let's look at how deep research stacks up against GPT-4o. Here, OpenAI has listed different categories comparing responses from 4o with that of deep research? Let's pick one. Let's go to business. So if we scroll to the top, on the left, we have the chat interface with 4.0, and on the right, we have the chat interface with deep research. Both models were given the same exact prompt, but we can see the varying level of detail in the responses. Let's look at the prompt first. So we're asking it to find iOS and Android adoption rates, the percentage of people who want to learn another language, and change in mobile penetration over the last 10 years for the top 10 developed and top 10 developing countries by GDP. We've asked it to lay out this information in a table and separate the stats in columns, recommendations, and all these things. So it's the same prompt we have on the left as the one on the right. Let's look at 4.0's response. So 4.0 first listed out the top 10 countries by GDP, or top 10 developed countries by GDP, then the top 10 developing countries by GDP. Summarize the insights, okay? iOS and Android adoption rates, interest in language learning, mobile penetration over the past decade, recommendations. Okay, I mean, it's a decent response. If you were to prompt this in ChatGPT using the 4.0 model, this is what you'd get. But now let's look closer at deep research response. Now remember, this isn't something that it would generate immediately. It'll take minutes to generate. Also, before we get there, look at this. Remember, the instruction said it should lay it out into a table, but 4.0 actually didn't get that part of the task and wasn't able to lay it out into a table. But now let's look at deep research's response. And just looking at the scroll bars between 4.0 and deep research, we can, of course, tell that a lot more information is coming. So first of all, deep research actually laid out the information in a table. It looked at the country, the iOS market share, the Android market share, interest in learning a new language, mobile penetration, and it summarized this across all the countries: Japan, Germany, the UK. All right. Look at all this detail for every single country. And of course, it then goes on to the top 10 developing countries with rich statistics. And once again, no pun intended, with deep research. All right, I'm still scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And then look here, all the sources are listed. It gives stronger recommendations. It's still going. And at the end of the day, it gives a recommendation to focus on iOS-heavy pro-learning markets. So you can see that deep research isn't a toy. It actually does analyst level research. And you can tell that by just comparing the different responses from 4.0 with that of deep research. Now, there's a whole lot more content in this article that I will encourage you to read, such as how deep research performed on certain tasks or on the humanities last exam, benchmarks, a lot more statistics here that you can check out. I'm not going to cover it in this video, but it will be cool to check out. And yeah, like I'm so excited for this. Now, access-wise, this is only available to people with the $200 pro license, but very soon it's going to come out to those with the Plus and the Team licenses. So stay tuned. This is going to be big. Best believe that I'm going to be using this. All right, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments what excites you about this. Are you going to use it? Is it even necessary for your work? I'd love to hear more. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.